Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Bedrock Guide. And we're just jumping straight in today. In today's video, we're going to be building the input system for our multi-item sorting system. There's the temporary input right there. We're going to bring it up here and do something fun with it, but that's for a little bit later. I've got something special in store for you guys right now. And I spent a little bit of time in a creative testing world working on this live on stream. And as usual, I way overcomplicated it. So one of our amazing community members, Anonymous, watched this happen unfolding on the stream, and he said, I'm going to send this guy a picture. So he sent me a picture of a great TNT ELYTRA launcher, and we're going to build it today. So there's no better place to start messing around with TNT than in the place where you spent the most amount of time on the largest project you've ever worked on this server. Let's blow some stuff up. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and dig a 3x3 hole in the ground just like this, and then maybe just for good measure we'll go ahead and dig this down a little bit farther, because I'm thinking what we could do is with the actual aesthetic design for this area we could kind of slope it down, so have something like this going on. But we're not worried about aesthetics at the moment. We're kind of thinking ahead on that, but we're not doing that right now. So what we'll do is we'll take our dispensers. We've got 8 dispensers. We'll place them facing upward in a square, just like this, leaving the middle spot completely open. Then what we can do is dig down here, and we're going to go ahead and just dig this general area out for the moment. Then we're going to go into the middle of our dispensers right here and place a sticky piston upside down, and then we'll place a redstone block right underneath that. And then we're going to place a block here, here, and here in the corners of the room, and then we'll take a redstone torch on top of each one of these so that there are 4 redstone torches, 1 in each corner. Then what we need to do is make sure there are 2 air blocks between this redstone block and this block that we place right here. Then we'll place a piece of redstone dust right here in the middle so that when this piston extends, it will push this redstone block to power this piece of redstone, which then we will place a block right here and a block right here. Then what we can do is we can place a redstone torch right here, which will turn that one off. It will invert the signal so that the power does not go to those dispensers until we stand on the pressure plate. So we'll do that for all 4 of these, and that's it. That's the whole design. So how this works, you stand on a pressure plate, which will power the sticky piston to push this redstone block down to power this redstone dust. This redstone dust will power that block and that block, turning these torches off. And then when these torches are off, these blocks will become depowered, and the redstone torches up top will power all of the dispensers. So all of the TNT should fire at the exact same time. I just broke it. But the most important thing that you gotta remember with this TNT launcher is water. If you don't put water down in here, the TNT is just gonna blast everything around the area. TNT and or creepers, when they sit in water sources, will not cause any kind of explosion damage. And when we put a pressure plate down, stand on this, all of the dispensers will fire at the same time. Creeper farm. If you haven't seen the tutorial for it, go check it out. This is very, very important to have a creeper farm. We are just blowing through stacks of sand and gunpowder for a gimmick. An ELYTRA launcher. Totally not a necessary build at all, but it's hilarious and fun, and we're doing it. Since I only have 1 stack of TNT right now, we're just going to divide this into 8 slots, which will give us 8 per dispenser. So we can test this out 8 times before we run out of TNT, which we can go get some more sand. We got unlimited gunpowder. We can craft as much of this stuff as we want. But let's give this thing a test flight. You ready? I got my pressure plate here. We're going to put that down on the sticky piston, and we're going to hope that nothing blows up in my storage room. 3, 2, 1, go. This is gonna be bad. Oh my goodness. How did I actually survive that? No. 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 And boop, 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 boop. Taking off the armor. Here we go. Let's try it one more time. Whee! Here's a fun fact for you. If you didn't know, you don't take ceiling damage in Minecraft. It's just fall damage, no ceiling damage. This is amazing. So while we're still working on this, I am going to break the pressure plate, because if you happen to stand on this and launch TNT and then stand on it again and double dispense the TNT, you're in for disaster. The first round of TNT will blow up, and the second round of TNT will fly across the room and break things. So don't bounce, don't swim, don't jump. Just stand still and wait for it to happen. mistakes were made. I was testing something out. A potential option. Whoopsie! I can't believe I blew up my storage system. I mean, I knew it was going to happen, but I still can't believe I did that. You guys see our friend back there and his nosy llamas? Pressure plate is an absolutely terrible idea for this build. Not just because I blew up my own storage system, because this guy behind me will probably do the same thing if he wanders over to our TNT launcher. So, goodbye pressure plate, and hello button. Much better. So now we can just jump around all we want, and we're not gonna set this thing off unless we press the button. Let's try it again. Ow. So now we need to figure out a better way to get through the ceiling. So we learned something new today. We're going to throw all of our armor on. We've got all of our netherite armor. Stand in the middle. And boom. We don't go very high. So if we take all of our armor off and we fly with just the wings, here we go. 3, 2, 1, blast off. Boom. Hey, that's more like it. That's exactly the effect we're looking for right there. Fantastic. Okay, we're gonna test this theory really quickly with a pair of iron boots, iron pants, and a diamond helmet, because I believe that netherite armor is the only armor that has knockback resistance. So we're gonna try this and see if we get the same results as no armor. So here we go. TNT time. To infinity and beyond. Okay, so if you want to have an elytra launcher, either don't wear armor or wear armor that is not netherite. Good to know. Okay, guys, we've tested this thing out. We know that it works. I may or may not have tested it out a few times without an elytra. It didn't end well. But we have a fully functioning TNT elytra launcher that will send us through the roof in this square formation, but square is boring. We are going to turn this into a little bit of a pillar that I don't know if it's going to come all the way down or what we're going to do around here just yet. I've still got some things in mind for what I want to do with this, but we need to see if we can make it work. So, same thing that we did with the volcano. If you haven't seen the volcano yet, we started by building the entire thing out of stone, and we've not gotten around to texturing it just yet, but we are going to do that very, very soon. But we're going to start here, just kind of as a test model for how we're going to texture the rest of this base. So we're going to start with just stone, and then I've got some other blocks in my palette that we're going to toss in once we've got a shape that we really like. This is one of those things that's going to be more organic and less planned, so just start placing blocks down and see what you get, and if you don't like it, just take them back out and start over. I think I finally have a shape that I'm pretty happy with. It's a little bit more circular and wide at the top. It narrows down a little bit towards the center and then flares out at the bottom. We are ready to start texturing. What I think I'm going to do is start just tossing in a few random blocks here and there. We'll throw some blackstone in, we'll throw some basalt in. We're going to use some of the fire coral, and if you didn't know this, when you place a coral on the ground when it's not in water, it will sadly die. But it turns gray, and it complements this whole field very nicely. So fire coral, bubble coral is another type of coral that we have, and we'll try that out as well. We're just going to start texturing this up and see what comes out. And before you know it, you've got something that looks a little bit like this. Man, I'm really happy with how that turned out. We took blackstone and polished blackstone and some coal blocks sprinkled in here and there, and we mainly lined those at the bottom and tried to do a little bit of a gradient, not a true gradient, but just a slight one, up towards the top, where it's a lot less blackstone and more basalt, more dead coral, more regular stone, and I think this looks good. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take some of these soul lanterns, because that's kind of been the theme of our build so far, is this teal color, and we're just going to place a few throughout the build. I think we can do one right here, maybe we can do one right here, and we'll just sprinkle these through at random as well. Now, these soul lanterns don't light up builds as well as regular torches and regular lanterns, but I think it gives a nice ambience, so we're gonna go with it and see how it does. But we may end up having to hide some lighting underneath like slabs or something. We'll have to see. Another thing that I thought could be fun is if we came into this room and maybe we put some soul soil into the ground and light it on fire. Maybe we'll do something like that right here. These types of effects help to hide the fact that this is still indeed a square tube going up, but it's very much less noticeable at this point. You really don't notice it at all, even when you walk into this room, unless you look straight up. So we'll sprinkle a few of these in here as well. So I think that looks really nice. We've got a nice atmospheric look on the inside of this room when we're ready to go take off into the wild blue yonder. So now that we've got ourselves past the worst pun of the day, the next and last thing that we need to do in this episode is go over here and hook up our input line to the multi-item sorting system to this spot right here. Should be relatively easy. We're just going to go ahead and run hoppers all the way across like this until it meets up with that point in the floor. Then what we're going to do is bring this hopper line up one right here so that it's even with this floor, and then we'll build a shape around this center point. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, and this will be our starting point, and we'll go 1, 2, 3. So 3 blocks in a row, 1 block, 1, 2, 3, 1 block, 1, 2, 3, 1 block, and 1, 2, 3, and 1 block. Then we're going to fill this in as much as we can without encroaching too much on our storage. Don't worry, we'll fix this up so that it looks a little bit better, and this will be okay for now. We'll have to smooth it out a little bit more when we are done decorating, but next we need to go over here, and on either side of the center points on every edge, we're going to bust this one out and that one out. So now it looks a little bit more like a hashtag. Then from here, we can grab some water and drop it in each of these little cutouts. And there we go. This is very important that you put the water sources here versus right here in a straight line. You have to have these cutouts. If you don't do that, then it will just create an infinite water pool and you won't get any flowing water like we have here. We want all of the water to flow into this center point where this hopper is so that any item we toss into this pool is going to go into the system. I've also got a combination of blackstone and polished blackstone slabs, and we're just going to shape this out a little bit and try to cover these up just so it's not so obvious there's a cutout there. I think this will look a lot better. So we'll cover it here. We'll do the exact same shape as we had before, where we've got 3 blocks along the edges, 1 on the corner, and just repeat that until the entire circle is complete. And that looks a lot better. But then I want to go in and I want to bust these blocks out and put solid blocks of the same color, and that looks pretty good except for this stone right here, and maybe even this stone. We might actually convert all of this to blackstone. So let me grab some of that and see how that looks. Oh yeah, that's gonna look so much better than what we had before. Just dropping items into a hopper, boring. Dropping things into an input chest, boring. This is not boring, and even the hopper there kind of blends in with the blackstone. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's how this thing works. Basically, all you do is you go up to the wishing well and you toss all your items into the wishing well and they disappear. Where do they go? They go into here. If you didn't see the tutorial on how to build the multi-item sorting system, go check it out. This thing is pretty great. And all we got to do is come over here, drop any item we want in the storage system, and it will wish it away into our storage system and sort it out into the appropriate chest. So all of that blackstone we just tossed in there should end up right over here when this is done sorting. But again, we cannot leave this looking like this. It's rather ugly right now. We've got some work to do, just like we did over there to make it look a little bit more pirate cave-like. We're gonna go ahead and jump into a bit of a time lapse and get this taken care of. So you guys know what to do. Let's roll that time lapse. with that, our item input is completely finished. We've got a nice little area here with some fire. We've got our treasure. We got our gold, lapis, ancient debris, and diamonds. Some of the most valuable stuff in the game, and a great place to throw our items into the storage system. And you can hear it clicking away. It's working. Everything is hooked up. This storage system is officially complete. Just a quick note about this right here. We started out with 1 hopper, but we added 3 more. So we have 4 hoppers. They all lead into this one right here. But I wanted to do 4 hoppers just in case we had a big load of items that we wanted to dump into our input so that they don't accidentally despawn while we're waiting on them to get picked up. But guys, that's gonna do it for today. We're gonna go ahead and take off with our brand new TNT launcher because we've got to go meet up with Prowl for a very special episode. We are going to be recording our first major collaboration of this series. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to like the video and leave a comment for me in the comment section so I know what you did enjoy about it. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any more Bedrock Guide content just like this, and also so you don't miss out on the special episode that Prowl and I are going to be putting out next. But thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.